Well, there's no doubt about it. The Houston defense has improved with those additions, but this is an attack predicated on what they do offensively. How difficult are they to handle when they come to your town?
Well, they're very difficult to handle because not only do they have James Harden, who creates a problem with his ball handling ability and shooting, but he now has somebody else that he can throw the ball to in Chris Paul. It's like they have 2 point guards on the floor at all times. They have 2 guys that can activate the ball to the weak side, find teammates, and then they have a bunch of 3-and-D guys like Luke Mbamute, guys like
P.J.
Tucker. Those type of players help Trevor Ariza. Those type of players help you out a lot. They help you out a ton, and that's why this team is so hard to defend, because you have 2 guys that can make all the plays. Clint Capella rolling down the lane, causing an absolute problem. And if you rotate to him, they kick it to the weak side, and those guys just bombs away from 3.
It is sort of diabolically simple, the attack that they bring with Houston. They knocked down 19 threes in this game.
And they've made some nice additions to the squad. And we heard Chris Paul say that, they've gotten a little bit deeper and a little bit better defensively. P.J. Tucker, I thought, was the first big one as far as the toughness he brings, the mentality he has. 2 guys they've added lately. Gerald Green has done an excellent job for them.
My goodness.
And then Markel Brown, who hasn't played in a while, was with Brooklyn, then had to go back D-League and come back up. And he's a good defender, athletic. He can defend as well. So they've added some good pieces at the defensive end.
On the other hand, the way Cleveland has played defensively, maybe this result, 32-point lopsided road win for the Rockets, shouldn't have been that surprising. They're 28th in the league in defense, and they were a sieve in this game.
Matt, when you talk about Brooklyn, the one thing people have said all year, they play hard every night. They come and they play hard every night. I think I heard you say before, one of the problems with the Cavs, they don't play hard every night. And when you watch them defensively, you can just see exactly what Brandon was talking about. In transition, you have to run back and run hard. Watch this. Off a made basket, Isaiah blows by the wings on each side of the floor, JR and LeBron. When the point man goes down the middle, wings have backcourt responsibility, okay? You have to run back. Watch this. You see Mbamute is behind, way behind, okay, LeBron James. All of a sudden, he sprints. LeBron is fixing his jersey. They pitch the ball ahead. No one is back. That is unacceptable. Now, let's talk about this one. Switch takes place. All of a sudden, you're going to see Harden go to his right hand. Low man on the right side has to come and step up early, get to that dotted line. Then the right side wing has to cut off Capella from getting to the rim for the lob. That leaves a man in the right-hand corner open. Fine, you'll live with that. You try and close back out. But to let him go for an uncontested layup, not acceptable. Pick and roll. They're going to trap it. Low opposite man has to come across early. Get your chest parallel with the sideline. Then you'll be able to take the charge. It's a late rotation. LeBron moves out of the way. It's a dunk for Nene. And then how about uncontested threes? Watch Crowder. He's all the way in the lane. JR needs to split the difference between the 2 guys on the right side so that he can X move. If the ball goes to the corner, he plays it. If the ball comes up top, he plays it. They swing 2 passes. Crowder a little late because he went so far over on the closeout. There's a different way, 4 different ways that Houston wound up scoring. That Cleveland's defense just wasn't active, wasn't aggressive.
Cavaliers not only never led in this game, it felt like they were never really in this game. And listen to the tone of LeBron James afterward.
You have 5 days to trade deadline. Does something need done to this roster?
That's not a question for me. I show up to work every day. I bust my tail every day. I'm one of the first ones to get to the gym, and I'm one of the last ones to leave. I do my part. I control what I can control, and that is what I cannot control.
Do you think something will be done?
I control what I can control. I don't know.
With you saying I don't know, have you been in a situation where you haven't really had the answers on how to fix things before?
Well, that's 2 different things as far as me being a player and us trying to fix things up. I think we have to play better, obviously. And then the question he asked was from a GM perspective. I'm not the GM. I don't make those calls, so that's not my job, so I can't control that. What I can control is how I show up to work every day, try to put my hard hat on and go out and play, and that's what I can control.
LeBron, do you think other guys are working as hard as you are?
Come on, man. I do my job, man, and I try to do, even more, and try to pick up. And I hope guys pick up for me, too, when I'm not doing my job as well. That's what a team is all about, being able to pick up your brother when they need a little help. But right now, just it's not working to our favor.
He began that post-game media session by saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he's at a loss for words to figure out what's going on there or to explain it. What are we seeing, and how radical a change do the Cavaliers need to turn this thing around?
This team they do need a radical change, and maybe it comes via trade. I'm not sure if it's a shakeup. But we just saw Coach talking about the team's defense, and one of the things that stood out to me that I'm not used to seeing was you were highlighting LeBron James on a lot of the bad defensive possessions as the guy that was the culprit of why that play was not executed properly. So when you look at a team whose leader sometimes is out of place defensively and is out of sync defensively, that throws everybody else off because it's hard to say, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, when you're not being held accountable yourself. So I think everybody needs to look in the mirror. Even LeBron James, as great as he is, he has to look in the mirror, be a better defensive player, make sure he's in the right positions. You can't have plays where you're adjusting your jersey, adjusting your shirt, and you give up a layup. That's the start of the game. Like, those type of plays can't happen. We know he's a top 5 player all time, but even still, he has to be held accountable. He has to say, hey, I'm going to be better. You guys follow behind my lead as I turn this up down the second half of this season.